Welcome, jesters. All right, let's talk about an instance of the government protecting themselves. And maybe we can find some common ground. I don't know if this was a big thing, but over the last few days, I have seen several videos and several posts on X. So maybe what's going on of these kids, these recent graduates, or maybe even not so recent graduates, complaining about their student loans. Now that they've been doing this for a long time, but I have seen, I remember them complaining that they can't get rid of them, meaning they can't discharge them in bankruptcy. And this is something I kind of knew, but I never really looked into it. So I did. And like I said, maybe we can find some common ground here because, I don't think the government should be able to unilaterally protect itself, right? And maybe I'll make a video about qualified immunity, which I don't think really should apply in a lot of cases. So, right now, in terms of student loans, though, and bankruptcy, yes, there was a time when everything was normal and correct. All types of debt could be discharged, including student loans, whether they be from a private lender or the government. But because of some fears that students would rack up debt and then immediately declare bankruptcy, I don't know if this is real, but this was the concern way back in 1976 when Congress passed the Education Amendments Act, which made student loans not dischargeable, which made government student loans not dischargeable in bankruptcy. Yes, so a case of the government protecting itself. Now, of course, you know what? Education is a very big business, and it is a big business. It's just a giant industry full of equally evil corporations, just like all the other ones. Well, you know what? The banks, the big evil banks, they saw a lot of money in this, and they wanted to get in on the game. And where there's money, there's lobbyists. So they started to lobby Congress, which is what they do. And then finally, in 2005, with the Bankruptcy Something Protection Act, 2005, look it up, they made private student loans not dischargeable in bankruptcy unless there was an undue hardship, which apparently is very, very, very hard to get. Despite how many crying TikToks you make, apparently it's very hard to prove an undue hardship. So now we have a giant predatory capitalist industry lending totally protected by the government, right? The government protects itself, the politicians protect themselves, and they also protected the big banks, which is why all these kids are now stuck with hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans that they cannot repay with their gender studies degree, right? Yeah, who would have seen that coming? Everybody, right? So yeah, the evil capitalist system that, our friends on the left keep preaching against, they kind of created, because I'm sure that there were enough of these dopes lobbying for this because they didn't really understand the consequences, right? And now we have the student loan crisis that just won't go away, that the politicians roll out whenever they want to buy votes. Or whenever they say they're going to buy votes, because they never end up actually paying for them. Like the debt is never canceled. So, people are just being fooled over and over again, which means, student loans are one of the oldest Democrat scams, right? I mean, let's see, there's first Social Security, then the Great Society, and then student loans, the OG3 Democrat scams. And really, if you want to look at student loans in terms of a lending scam, it's another Democrat and government-created crisis, just like the 2008 mortgage crisis, also caused by Democrats. Barney Frank forcing lenders to lend money to people who cannot pay it back, who they knew couldn't pay it back. Yeah, so that's all on them. So yeah, another Democrat-created crisis. And of course, then there's also the notion that on our side, it's not that we suspect it, we know it. Student loans really are just a way for the leftists in government to pay off or just share the wealth, really, share the collective wealth with their fellow leftist brethren in academia, right? That's how they get all these giant campuses and cushy jobs and tenure, right? Can never be fired, right? It's probably better than any union job. And what do we get out of it? Well, we get gender studies graduates out of it who literally have no contributable skills to the economy. So, you know what? After actually looking into this, I have become very sympathetic to these students who are saddled with all of this debt. And I actually think that student loans should be dischargeable during normal bankruptcy proceedings. Absolutely. And you know what? Let the lenders, deal with the consequences, which means Republicans, This is another example where you just stay out of it. If the Democrats want to pass a giant student loan package, right, billions and billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars, and then, these kids, they go to school and then they just declare bankruptcy, hey, it's on them. It's 100% on them. Don't even vote against it. Just show up, vote present, or don't show up. Let them pass it all on their own. Just another circumstance of how you can just get out of their way. Private lenders, you know what? Let them make the decisions. It means they're going to stop lending, right? But hey, you know what? They need to take the risk too, right? Because they're profiting quite handsomely from this crisis as well. I'm sure you've seen all the TikToks of people paying for years and the balance never goes down. Yeah, I'm not one to complain about usury or anything like that, but when you're protected by the government, you can do things like that. So, yeah, absolutely. Make student loans dischargeable. And if this leads, and it's all funny money anyway at this point, so why even worry about it? And if this is just another step to making the federal government insolvent to the point of it just evaporating one day, we'll all be better off. And I'm right.